welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we will be doing my March reading wrap up. But before we hop in the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. Alright y'all, so first off we're starting with a stats update. I read 8 books this month. I read 4 physically, 3 ebooks, and 1 audiobook, which was my nonfiction read for the month. I completed 2 books for the Trans Rights Readathon, and my average rating for the month was a 4.43, and I had 1 5-star this month. And it was the last book I read this month. Like, I read that very quickly. But without further ado, let's hop into every book I read in the month of March. I kicked off the month by reading a new release from Amy Award, and that was the second book in the Cocky Kingsman series, The Wiener Across the Way. This is a Taylor Swift-inspired adult football romance featuring some fake dating. So it follows pop star Kelsey Best, who is getting over a very public breakup, and asks a linebacker, tight end, whatever he does, Declan Kingman, to be her fake date or fake boyfriend to get the paparazzi off her back, and you know, romance ensues from there. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I believe this is the rating I gave to the first book in the series, The Cock Down the Block, or yeah, I think that's the name of the book. And yeah, these are just some short, sweet, well, not short. This one was 420 pages. The first one was a little bit shorter. These are some fun, just like spicy little reads. I will say I'm not one to use the word cringe, but there were some choice phrasings in this book. Also, since it is Taylor Swift inspired, there are some forced Taylor Swift references that you're probably going to have to make it through. But overall, very enjoyable. If you like cute pets, small town vibes, and you know, just sweet cutesy romance, and also features a plus size FMC. All of her books do. So if that's for you, this is the one for you. Then I read So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole. This is her debut young adult fantasy. It is a queer fantasy featuring a lesbian FMC as well as an asexual FMC, and is inspired by Jamaican mythology. So let's see if I can describe the plot, because it's a little interesting. Well, I think basically I'll give you this, because this one I think you have to dive into with a little blindness here. The blurb says, "A dragon took her sister. She'll set the world on fire to bring her back." So we are following sisters Farron and Alara and their journey to figure out how to break the bond between dragon and dragon rider. And it is a bit of a doozy. I ended up giving it 4.75 stars. It was not 5-star feelings, but in terms of debut novel, this was very well crafted. It did get me with this stupid cliffhanger. I know fantasy series need cliffhangers, but still. The cliffhanger did leave me wanting more, and there's a little bit of romance in here that has me itching to find out where it goes. Not 5-star feels, but I definitely recommend this, and it was a great debut from this author. Then I read Maybe Meant to Be by K.L. Walther, another book inspired by Taylor Swift. This is inspired by the Taylor Swift song You Belong With Me, and this is a republished version of one of her earlier works, or the first Taylor Swift inspired book that she created. This is a young adult romance featuring one queer plotline and one non-queer plotline. It follows Sage and Charlie, and the back blurb also very well sums this up for you. It says, "If Charlie and Sage are meant to be, why can't Sage stop kissing Charlie's brother, and why can't Charlie stop thinking about kissing the new boy at school?" All of K.L. Walther's books, or at least the other one that I read, which is Summer of Broken Rules, give me this fun, like, giddy feeling. They're just like nice, lighthearted, just like cutesy little vibes. However, this book has a coming out plot line, so there is trigger warning for internalized homophobia on the part of the Charlie character. And I do not think the coming out plot line was handled as well as it could have been. And this right here is going to be maybe a bit of spoilers, so maybe jump a few seconds ahead. But Sage in this story is in love with Charlie's brother, Nick, hence what the back says, and they go through a very rocky portion of the story, and instead of Sage coming up with a bunch of other ideas, it kind of feels like she blames Charlie, not blames, but feels like she can't do anything without Charlie coming out, and I think there's a lot of things that she could do before Charlie having to come out in this case. So there's that. But overall, cute, sweet vibes. I know it was the first novel she really put out there, so it's probably going to be the worst of the ones I read, which for the first one should be the case. Then I read Sunny Disposition by Deanna Gray, which is an adult hockey romance. Trigger warning for traumatic brain injury here. and per the title, Sunny Disposition, this is a grumpy sunshine romance. This story follows Naomi, who is in love or crushing real hard on the moderator on her stream. She's a streamer, gaming streamer, Midwest. But after a failed meetup occurs, she is left reeling. But she accidentally, or not to her knowledge, meets Midquest in real life, Finn, and there's a little hidden identity that takes place there. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. I might have rated it higher, but I got pretty slumped out in the month of March, so that might have affected this. But this one was a really good read. I had read her queer romance back in December, Outdrawn, and this one is very good. I might like this one a little more than Outdrawn. We'll see how things play out as I read the rest of her backlog. Then I read Sounds Fake But Okay by Kayla Kazuka and Sarah Costello. This is a book about asexual and aromantic experiences, and it's based off of their podcast, Sounds Fake But Okay. I rarely rate nonfiction. I didn't rate this one, but it was definitely a good audiobook listen. They had some great banter when giving out the audiobook narrative, and there was plenty of stuff to digest as someone who is allosexual and not asexual. So definitely recommend if you're looking for a queer nonfiction. Then I read Heart Haunt Havoc by Freydis Moon for the trans rights readathon. I do have updates of that, or my updates or process of reading for the trans rights readathon in shorts on my YouTube shorts. You know how it goes. And this is a T for T romance. It's a horror novella. It follows Colin, who is a specialist who is hired to exorcise some ghosts or happenings at Bishop's house. And I'll leave it there for you. As with horror and mysteries, I think it's best to go in a little blind, but please do check trigger warning because there's a long list that you're going to have to get through. I've given this book 4.5 stars. I'm not a huge horror, mystery, thriller reader, so I usually rank them or rate them pretty highly because I'm like, they're out of my comfort zone, but they rarely ever get 5 stars from me. But this one did give me the eerie, just generally good times. Plus, again, I was slumped out, so do recommend. I'm currently reading the second book in the series. Then I read Out of the Blue by Jason June. This is a YA queer romantasy following a genderqueer merperson. So it follows Crest, aka Ross, who is sent to the human world for a month to help a human and to learn the human experience. And while they are on land, they meet Sean, who is going through a terrible breakup, and Sean and Ross start fake dating, and shenanigans ensue from there. This was a fun time. Just like Jay's Gay Agenda by this author, this was just a great read. They really know how to capture the YA queer experience. Now with a lot of YA queer romance novels, this does feature a little more spice. The characters are 16 or 17, so be aware of that. So there is a little spice. I think it's mostly fade to black, but I find that with a lot of YA queer, there's more spice than I feel like normal YA romance novels. But this was good. I just dig in the 5-star feels. Then we get to my 5-star read of the month. It's That Time I Got Drunk and Needed a Love Potion at a Werewolf. Y'all know, I think it was last month, I read the first book in the series, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved the Demon, and rated it 5 stars. And this book was no exception to the rule, and this is by Kimberly Lemming. This series is just full of short, sweet little romps, fun times, sexy, spicy, funny, super funny. This book follows Bree, whom, per the title, throws a love potion at a werewolf who decides that he has imprinted on Bree. And there's a whole, no, you're in love with me because of love potion. No, I'm in love with you because you're my fated mate. And things go from there. It's 5 stars. I mean, I guess no book is perfect, but to me, 5 stars means it was perfect enough for me. So highly recommend this series. And those were all the books I read in the month of March. I'm currently in the middle of reading 3 books. Wolf Willow Witch by Freydis Moon, which is the second book in the Gideon Testament series. Transgressive by Rachel Ann Williams, which is a transgender nonfiction essay collection, which I'm listening to on audiobook. And Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, which I'm reading physically, but it's my copies at my work, by Talia Hibbert. And so far, some great reads on the line. Tell me what I should be reading next in the comments down below, and what did you think of the books I read this month?